All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Can we get everybody to take a seat? We have some really good presentations coming up. First one's going to be TJ Rogers from Accurate Door Controls. All right, so I'll give you a little background on TJ. He's a founder and owner of Accurate Door Controls, a leading security hardware systems manufacturer for the corrections industry. Hold on, I'm going to skip that part. All right, driven by innovation and a commitment to excellence, TJ works closely with top manufacturers to deliver non-proprietary, efficient, reliable technologies tailored to his clients' needs. Under his leadership, Accurate Door Controls has grown to be one of the top security electronics firms in the country. And with that wonderful introduction, I will give you TJ Rogers.
Thanks, Joe. I got a lot going on. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm TJ Rogers, and I'm president of Accurate Controls. And I got the best time slot, the post-lunch time slot. So I'm going to get started, and hopefully people will be wandering in here. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about our company, just so everybody gets a little more information about who we are and what we do and why we do it that way. And then we're going to talk about the innovation in the industry, what is coming and what is already here. You've heard a lot about it. Dr. DeWinger's presentation talked a lot about the collaboration of technology. So we're going to get to that. But who is Accurate Controls? We're an original equipment manufacturer, and we build security automation systems for the corrections industry, secure treatment, and related markets. Okay, so what does that mean? So we were started in the late 80s, early 90s, and we started as a result of the state of Wisconsin, who is here, so thanks for coming. They wanted to change how things were being done inside their correctional facilities back in the 90s, in that a lot of things were proprietary back then and not serviceable. So that's how our company started, and from there we've grown to be the largest integrator that serves the corrections market. Our company has done over 1,000 systems throughout the U.S. We have over 140 employees. And in our employee base, we have over 1,000 years of experience working in this industry and with our company. We typically keep about 100 projects active. So that means we're finishing about 2 projects a week over the course of a year. Our focus is non-proprietary equipment and software, and we are a UL-listed and certified manufacturer of custom control panels. That is a really big deal in the fact that we're one of the very few in our industry that subscribes to that requirement. We cover the entire United States for the most part. We don't really work in the upper East Coast, but we are in other countries. We're working a lot in the Caribbean right now. So we see things from a wide variety of perspectives, which is important when we're talking about what are we doing here in Indiana versus what are we doing in Florida or maybe even Southern California. So all of those perspectives bring a lot of value to our industry. Over the last 10 years, we've developed all the largest projects in our industry successfully. Why that's important, Joe talked about and started this off this morning with the corrections industry, how it's contracted over the years. So over the course of my career, 35 years, there's been a lot of people that have come and gone in this industry. A lot of the projects people have started projects and not completed them well. And our experience is we have completed them well. In addition to that, our focus has been on developing systems for secure treatment. Obviously, that's the focus here today. And you'll see a lot of our projects include that experience. One of the things that is really important is our after-hours service and our support. We have a dedicated support of technicians and engineers and software developers that their whole mission in life is to answer the phone when you call. That's a huge complaint in our industry, and that has been a focus for us in that we want to maintain our customers and provide quality service to them. So we have people throughout the U.S. market that are there to answer your call and respond quickly to any issue you might have. All right, maintenance agreements, also a big deal. We don't require them. We can provide them, but we don't require you to have a service agreement. What that means is we're selecting products that have great service, don't require software maintenance agreements, and we can provide a cost-effective approach to software maintenance or continued maintenance. That's also a big component to what we're doing. The basis of what we're doing is non-proprietary systems, and we talked a lot about this earlier today, and that is the design assist approach. It's very unique to our industry and something that we've been promoting and doing for about the last 7 or 8 years. And like Dr. DeWinger's presentation this morning, that collaboration and allowing us the opportunity to meet with the stakeholders, talk with the designers, talk with the builders, coordinate with PolyJail and the rest of the team about functionality that you want is vital to the success of the project and the functionality. Okay, so that's what we subscribe to, and that's what we want to promote, because we want to get in to be able to build functionality that may not otherwise exist, or inform you about the functionality that currently exists, as well as to find ways to make projects cost effective. All right, the industry perspective disagrees with that approach, and that's why it's important for you to be here to find out what your options are, okay? Our approach is non-proprietary, and we can talk about this in a lot more detail, but giving you the information to disseminate why or how you build a system that is truly non-proprietary, okay? So that's a little bit about Accurate Controls and who we are and what we do. Now let's get into it. Let's talk about the industry innovation. We've talked a lot about that today. And here's some things that a company, they're here today, talk to Gunnar and John. They offer, it's a newer company, they've been around for quite a while, and they've developed 3 products for our industry. Audiotech, Defender, and the Interforce. I'm going to first talk about Audiotech. Audiotech has really evolved. It's an IP audio communication system. And when we were working with Dr. Winger and some others about functionality that we wanted in the industry, it was met with some resistance. We went to Audiotech and they said, we could build that, even though it didn't exist. So they did. So they created an IP audio communication system with additional functionality to provide music, program sources. They are doing the nature sounds, the time and date. All of that sounds somewhat trivial. However, it's brought a lot of value in the segment, especially in secure treatment. The nice thing about it is we can use the same station to do multiple things. In addition to that, they also integrated the functionality of lighting control. So that's dimming and light temperature control. Well, one of the things, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, is the advancements in lighting. Another innovation that was brought to the industry through our collaboration was with Kenall lighting fixtures. Dimmable and light temperature control, which means the color of light, didn't exist in the corrections market 3 years ago. It existed in healthcare, but it didn't exist in our industry. As a result, we talked them into, if you build it, they'll come, and they actually agreed to build it. Frank, if you're in the room, go talk to Frank about what the light fixture is. And so they brought that to the industry as a result of our collaboration, and nothing more than that. So all the benefits of changing the light temperature and the light dimming provides the ability to change a scene inside a room or a cell. Some of the improvements to the intercom, well, is that a big deal? Audiotech took a different approach to building an intercom. And why is that? Well, for longevity. So they created a better intercom that sits on the wall. one that has the ability to have PEM studs, so you don't even have bolts, so you can't take the intercom off the wall, which surprisingly is a problem, right? Because people like to take those off the wall and hit people with them. So making it more secure, having an advanced cone so you get better sound quality, so when you're distributing music, it sounds better, or nature sounds, as well as all stainless steel construction. So they've taken it to a different level from what was available before. All right, this is a new innovation. It's called Interforce Smart Frame Technology, and for the first time we're going to talk about it today. It's been an innovation that has been a collaboration for lots and lots of years. We've been working on this collectively for about 7 years. And it's a collaboration between Accurate Controls, Titan Steel Door, Willoughby, Schneider Electric, and TechZ, and I think I said Accurate Controls. And what is it? So in a traditional approach to constructing a building, we were talking about ways to save money and increase functionality. In a traditional approach, you have a door, you have a stop side of the door and a hinge side of the door. Okay, when we are developing a system, for every function that's on a door, you have to run a bunch of cables. You have a conduit, and then you have typically up to 9 conductors to control and monitor a door. With the intercom, you have 2 separate conductors that go to that door, and you also have a conduit system. That's the traditional approach. So what this looks like, you have people out in the field that are installing conduit, and it takes forever. And you have to coordinate that. All the builders were up there talking about labor shortages, and you have people, this is an 8-cell, 12-door system. And this is kind of an outline of what we have to do on a project site. So you have 2 people that are running conduit, it takes forever. They're stumbling over other construction trades and things like that, and it takes a long time. But they run all the conduit. Then once they finally get that done, they can start installing cable. And that too takes a long time, and it's labor intensive. We've heard that we have issues with labor force. So once that's done, now they can go back through and install all the cable. They got 9 conductors to install to each lock, and they have 2 conductors for each intercom. So it takes forever to do that as well. So you have to coordinate all of that. You're adding to your construction schedule. Every time you do that, hopefully everything goes as planned. Usually doesn't always go as planned. So once they get that done, they run the intercom cable, they install the intercom device. Then they install the door control cable, and that's what's signified in red, and then they terminate the the door control, the door wiring harness from the lock provider. Again, this takes forever, and that presentation's supposed to do that, so I can talk in between it, but it takes forever. Once all that's done, they can go back and install the devices. Once that's done, they can go back, and our equipment rooms finally get done, and we can install and terminate all those wires. The problem with that is equipment rooms are kind of small, so you have a very limited crew that can actually work on top of each other. So in a 12-door system with 20 intercoms, you have a tremendous number of connections. On your base operations, you're going to have 184 connections in total to control 12 doors and have 20 intercoms. It's a lot of work. So that's all the things they got to do. Now, if you have expanded functionality, door release push buttons, local LED indication of door status, if you have card readers, if you have request to exit devices, each one of those requires a conduit and cabling in the same process. It takes forever. And this is what it would look like. And that's your backbone of the infrastructure it takes to do secure electronics. So I'm just going to kind of whip through that a little bit. And then you got to go back and terminate all of that wire. And again, it takes forever to do this. So that's the problem in our industry, okay? It's inefficient at best. And our IT managers are like, boy, it'd be great if this could be done over IP, right? So that's what we're talking about. So if you have advanced functionality, you have 334 connections to do all the advanced features on a 12-door system. Now think about Westville. There's like 4,500 doors. Think about all the work that goes into making this sort of situation happen so we can actually operate the facility remotely. Now, the team of manufacturers, Accurate Controls, Titan Steel Door, Willoughby, TechZ, Schneider Electric, which is a worldwide huge company, looked at this and said, I think we can do better. So they came up with a technology, it's called Smart Frame Technology, and this is what it looks like. Basically, you run one Category 6 cable to the door, and that controls everything associated with your door. More importantly, so this is what it looked like. We just talked about, it took a lot of time. You have two people, and they just simply install one Cat 6 cable to every opening, and that's the extent of it. So now in our analogy, we went through, and the connections are simply 12. Okay, 12 doors, 12 connections, that's it. Think about the time saving that would help to achieve on these project sites. So, 184 to 12, it's a 93.7% savings from infrastructure and a labor perspective as it relates to this type of application. Now, I talked to Keith, I don't know if he's here, he figured out the math, loose math on this. We would have saved about $7 or so million by adapting it here at Westville. Okay, so actual savings. Now, there's more to it than that. We call it future-proofing facilities. We get asked that question like, well, we want this functionality now. Right now, we want it to be a secure, maximum security housing unit. Well, what happens when your need changes in 5 years? Maybe you want it to be a secure treatment unit. Well, now you can change out your functionality. So the base function, we have door locking control systems, so we can do remote door and monitoring control. We can have local electric key switches. We can have door status local indicators. We can have call buttons. We can have request to exit push buttons. And it is interchangeable componentry. Audio communication, we can have basic intercom, we can have a call, we can have advanced programming. We can do lighting control through that same system, okay? So there's all kinds of things we can do, and we can do that all over one cable. So what happens is the door frame, which is where Titan Steel Door comes in, the door frame's been redesigned, so it's a universal door frame. Earlier we talked about the coordination effort it takes to get these jobs to construction. So with this approach, the door frame can be stocked. It's a universal door frame. It's a right and a left. You can ship them right to the project site. Then you can have your coordination and figure out what kind of functionality you want in that universal door frame. It saves on the front end for them as well. So this is what it looks like. You simply take off the front panel. You pull the box out. And if you want, you can just replace that unit. Okay, so you can take one off and you can put another one in with different functionality. And then you just simply reinstall it, plug in the Cat 6 cable, and re-IP it and you're done. So it's a very simple approach to changing and future-proofing the functionality of your door and opening and room or cell. Make sense? So you have those same 12 connections, and you can basically do anything you want with that. So advanced functionality, you still have the same 12. You have 334 connection points on a fully blown system, normally with a traditional approach. Okay, so that's Smart Frame Technology. We're launching it today. It's back, the units are back in the demo area with the manufacturers. Go check it out, and we can talk more about it if you're interested in it. So another function that we get asked about, we talked a lot about this today, is video analytics. We hear about it all the time. What can we do with video analytics? We want video analytics. Okay, well, what do you want to do? What will it do? So there are two basic versions. The basic version of video analytics, when you're looking for cameras, virtually every camera manufacturer provides basic video analytic information. It's things like object classification. Is it a person, a car, a truck, a bus? So you can figure out what are we looking for. So that's something you might want to know. Is a person walking into the vehicle sally port? Well, if a person without a car, you might want to get a prompt to say, we have a person in the vehicle sally port. Why do we have a person without a car or a truck? Virtual line crossing. There is somebody that is walking in the no man's area in front of a door in in a day room. Why are they standing in front of the door? You might want to be made aware of that. So basic line crossing. Appear or disappear. Well, in your visitor entry area, you may want to consider people walk in with a backpack. They set the backpack on the floor and then they walk out. Well, why would that be a concern? Well, maybe they put something in that backpack that you don't want there, such as, a bomb maybe or some other thing. Or transversely, you want to know, we have a video visitation portable cart, and then we keep it at a certain location. But if that is all of a sudden not there anymore, you probably want to be made aware of, like, when did it leave and who moved it, things like that. So other things like tampering. Did somebody throw something on the lens of the camera and you can't see it anymore? Or did somebody remove the camera? Those are some very basic video analytics to consider. However, what we see in our industry, and it's also oftentimes asked for, we want video analytics that can do everything everywhere. Well, why is that a big deal? Well, if we're going to select a camera and manage your cost, we probably don't want the most expensive video analytics associated with a particular, for every camera, because we need more pixels on target and the camera itself has more functionality. Does that make sense? So that's your basic video analytic. Now, advanced analytics. What can you do with advanced analytics? License plate recognition, LPR. LPR might be important. What if you have a person that's driving by your facility that maybe is ill-intended? It's a black pickup truck, license plate number ABC123. Well, this person has driven by the facility 35 times in the last 3 hours. Well, LPR could be set up to monitor that road, so you could say, we have this person, for whatever reason, maybe it's an employee's estranged husband or wife, and we're concerned with what they're doing. And we want to know how many times they're driving by the facility if we have an issue. So LPR could do that. Another thing it could do is, we've done this on some smaller facilities, where all of their police cars, we know their license plate number, right? So we just plug it in. So when that license plate number or that police car pulls up, we can get an alert to say, one of our people is pulled in, we need to, they're here, or whatever you want to do with it. Transversely, you can see if it's not one of our people, who is pulling up to the vehicle sally port, those kinds of things. Indoor, outdoor people and vehicle counting. Last night I was talking with somebody about, could we get to virtual inmate counting in facilities? Is that possible? Well, we're getting really close with video analytics to be able to do that. And that's something that you may want to consider thinking about now as you move forward. Perimeter detection and people tracking is another thing that you might want to consider, as well as audio detection. So what I guess my point is, when you're asking for functionality, you have to ask yourself and think about, what do we really want to do with video analytics? Is it really important, and are we going to implement it? And what we are seeing is that these advanced functionality features that are available are being asked for, but with really no mindful way of implementing them, okay? As a result, all of those advanced functions cost money because you have to maybe have more storage, you have more video processing, you have a different software feature depending on manufacturer that you have to buy. So all of those things directly affect the cost of your systems. And again, kind of going back to the design assist, you may not know what you want to do. So therefore, we want to try to manage and work our way through, like, what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? All of those things are hard for us on one side and you as the operations group on the other side to work our way through everybody to get those answers. So that's video analytics. Facial recognition. This is something we get asked all the time. Well, we want to do facial recognition. We want to know, when did Joe Poor walk into work and when did he walk out? I already know the answer, right, Jared? 140 hours a week, every week. Anyway, so traditional sense, let me back this up. So when in a traditional approach, the steel cell product is built, and then everybody's got to run conduit to it. And then after the conduit's installed, then we're running cable. Then after the cable's installed, then you can finally put your device in, okay? And then once the rest of, ooh, that was loud, sorry. Are you awake now? I told you I was loud. So once the rest of the building gets completed, we can finally install the head-end equipment racks and terminate all of that. Just like in the other example, it takes forever. In the modular steel cell approach, they factory install all of that, okay? And there's an equipment cabinet on the back of the bottom cell. Truck comes and picks it up and delivers it to the project site. All the cells are set in place, and the electrician, the rest of the building's getting built, and the electrician installs one conduit and one cable to the run of cells. And this streamlines the approach to installation. This is what it looks like. You saw a lot of that yesterday. Truck comes in, they pull it off the truck, they skate it into place, and they just simply connect it together like Legos, even the security electronics. And this was a collaboration that was created many, many years ago with Steel Cell, Polygel, and Accurate Controls. And to date, we've done a lot of these projects, all these projects, and we've had about just under 7,500 cells for a net savings on all these projects of just over $23 million, which is significant savings and efficiency and for maintenance and all that fun stuff. So on Wayne County is just under $5 million, on Westville is just under $7 million. And the reason people appreciate this is it reduces the construction schedule, reduces labor costs, increases serviceability because everything's exactly the same. So that's our presentation today. I don't know, how am I doing on time? Does anybody have any questions? No questions? All right. Well, thank you for your time today. Appreciate it. Like Joel, it was a perfect presentation. Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.